Hello and welcome everybody to Game 2 of aAaNerchio versus mouzMorroW from the Gigabyte Cup. This is going to be Game 2 of a best of 3. In Game 1 we saw some amazing Terran play from mouzMorroW, who of course normally plays Zerg, but against Zerg he plays as Terran. This is going to be a ZVT here on MLG Daybreak. Spawning here in the lower left position as the red Zerg, we have aAaNerchio. Spawning here in the upper right position as the blue Terran, we have mouzMorroW. Now, one couple of quick things, I guess, before we get started. The AAA thing for Nerchio. A lot of people always ask me, what does the AAA stand for? The AAA stands for Against All Authority. It is a French team, and actually, I'm actually curious. I actually am not sure if Nerchio is a French player or not. I actually don't know that. I should look that up. That's something I feel like I should know. I should also talk briefly about this map, because this is a map that not a lot of people are familiar with. I believe it is also used in the GSL, as well as at MLG. And it's kind of interesting because there's some interesting dynamics you get here. What's one thing we can talk about? First of all, after the taking your natural expansion, there's an interesting choice of thirds here. There's this third, which is a much safer expansion to take. So I think typically a Zerg player would take this as their third expansion because they want to take expansions that are farther away and easier to defend. By just controlling this Xel'Naga watchtower here, you can watch the attack movements of your opponents that come through this way to come attack your base. Another thing about this map, if you look on the mini-map here and you see this pathway that walks right through the middle, there are destructible rocks that block that. So in the early to mid-game, early mid-game, you don't see a lot of players destroying these destructible rocks, which means that your units are forced to either go through this attack path to get to your opponent's base, or through this attack path to get to your opponent's base. Now, this is typically taken, of course, by, in this case, Nerchio. So, of course, it makes for interesting dynamics defending this map, because once you take this base, it's a bit bigger of a base. It is a full base. You can choose to take this, but it's a little bit farther away from the base that you take as your third, which can be a little bit troubling, just because your units are going to take a long time, because once you have a third, you want to be using your units to defend your third, because it's going to have the most resources to mine from. But if you have to take this as a base and then take this as a base, you are having to go very far to defend your own expansion. Now, of course, there is a small mineral patch in the middle of the map for both players. This does have a rich Vespene geyser there and only 6 mineral patches, so that's one that you can take, but it's generally not taken to the really late game just because it's so exposed to the middle of the map, especially if your opponent controls this base and they can just walk straight through here to get to your base. Not the best position there to be in for most players, to be that close, especially if you are Zerg. Now, let's jump right into this game right here, because I have been focusing a little bit too much on this map. We do have Nerchio going for a fast expansion here. There is a spawning pool down. He is mining that gas. Looks like he's going to be getting up an early Zergling speed. We're not seeing any kind of early harassment here from mouzMorroW, and we do have 4 Zerglings now moving across the map here for Nerchio. Looks like he's just going to be taking that Xel'Naga watchtower. In the base of Morrow himself, we have a command center going down right now. We have 1 barracks, which is currently building a reactor. It looks like he's going to be swapping that for the factories. Looks like we are going to be seeing some of those Hellions coming out in this match. Excited to see whether Morrow can do a whole lot of damage with those Hellions, because of course Hellions still at this point, as I said in Game 1, this is patch 1.3, Hellions still deal a ton of damage to light units. They are going to be changing that in 1.4. They are reducing the amount of bonus damage that the Hellions get. Normally the bonus damage is 10, and they are reducing the bonus damage to 5 from that Blue Flame Hellion upgrade. So, but like I said, that has not been applied yet. So far, we are still just on patch 1.3 in this game, and these Hellions are going to do just as much damage if they get that Blue Flame upgrade. Now, we do have a little bit of a trade-off here going, as Morrow just moves right past this one Zergling moving into his natural expansion, and they just kind of shake hands there and just kind of pass each other a little bit. Just kind of said, "What's up?" and then they moved on. So, mouzMorroW now moving in with these 2 Hellions. These Hellions are going to require 3 shots to be able to take out these drones. Will they be able to do too much damage here? It looks like they are getting in, trying to do 1 damage. 1 drone going down there, but this Spine Crawler in a very good position right now, and aAaNerchio being very good about controlling his drones, pulling him back to a good place where they are defended by that Spine Crawler, and it looks like mouzMorroW is just going to be pulling back now and going for a little bit of map control, taking out these Zerglings at the center of the map. Now, we do have Zergling speed up right now for aAaNerchio. Roach Warren also coming up right now, almost up. Will we be seeing that same Roach Ling Infestor style from aAaNerchio in that mid-game? Now, for mouzMorroW, currently we do have a starport now going down. Second barracks coming down. It does have a tech lab attached, and we do see that stim coming for mouzMorroW. Man, I'm not used to saying things like stim coming down for mouzMorroW. I need to get used to casting games when mouzMorroW is playing Terran, because this is kind of unusual for me. Because I'm used to knowing mouzMorroW as that awesome Zerg player, but it's just weird to see him playing Terran. Now, we do have a mule that dropped here for mouzMorroW, and it actually did get taken out by that 1 Zergling there, so not the best control there from mouzMorroW, and excellent control there from aAaNerchio as he's able to pick off that mule. That mule is going to deny him quite a bit of resources, as those mules give quite a bit of income. I think they are worth 5 SCVs, I think, for about, what is it, 130 seconds? Something like that? They are, no, not 130 seconds. Darn it, I forget what it is. I'll have to look for a mule and try to scout it. Oh, wait, there we go. Yeah, 90 seconds. There we go. 90 seconds for a mule, ladies and gentlemen. 90 seconds where you are getting 5 times the minerals that you would be getting from an SCV. Now, we do have a bit of Zergling here going for. Looks like they're going to be trying to sneak in, deal a little bit of damage here. They did manage to pick off 1 Hellion, and now they are just going to be pulling back, having dealt a little bit of damage, not getting into the base, doing a lot of damage there, but poking in, letting him know that this expansion has now gone down here, is going to feel very safe in having this 3rd expansion going up for his own. Let's check out that harvester count right now, because on that harvester tab we can see that aAaNerchio currently way up in harvesters, 48 to 37 right now. He's soon going to be on 3 base, continuing to be very, very active with these Zerglings. He's going to be clearing all these Zerglings off those Xel'Naga watchtowers, and mouzMorroW trying to be very annoying. Nice little bit of control there from aAaNerchio as he does manage to surround that Hellion, almost completely surrounded. Didn't quite get it there. A little bit of good control from mouzMorroW, guaranteed that he did indeed get away. Combat still just now finishing for mousesports mouzMorroW. We do have a lot of barracks coming down right now. We do have a starport producing medevacs. It does have a reactor on it, and we're still seeing very heavy Marines come. Right now, these tech labs are strictly being used just to get upgrades, and it looks like we are now going to be seeing the swap of a barracks onto a reactor. In the meantime, this factory is going to be swapping onto this tech lab. I absolutely love this play from mouzMorroW. Using these tech labs and not letting them go to waste. He knows he doesn't want Marauders right now. He wants to go for a Marine tank composition, so he puts his tech labs on his barracks, researches all the upgrades that he needs, gets them up very, very early, and then just swaps his factory with those tech labs. So very, very good, smart thinking here from mouzMorroW. Well-planned play. And do we actually have a drop coming around the map right now? It looks like we might have a bit of an elevator drop here. This is starting to look quite like the Slayers drop that we saw from MLG Anaheim, as we do have 2 medevacs here, we do have a lot of Marines here, and we do have a few Hellions here, so it looks like he is going to be just going for a big attack here. It doesn't look like there's going to be any kind of elevator play going on here. Looks like he's just going to move in right now and try to take out this 3rd expansion. A lot of roaches are in this position right now, and they are just going to be focused down. Not enough are here to be able to deal with this. These Hellions coming in trying to get as many drone kills as they can, not able to get too much, but all the forces of aAaNerchio now pulling around, and the hatchery now being target fired. Looks like it is going to go down, and yes, the 3rd expansion goes down. Nice pickup there from mouzMorroW, as he's going to be getting away with most of those Marines. Nice little play there by mouzMorroW. Now, aAaNerchio looking like he's in a very, very scary position. Unlike that Destiny style of play where you definitely want to be, where it's okay to be matched base with a Terran player, in this style of play where you're going for Ling and Roach, these are units that are much, much cheaper in terms of money, but much more expensive in terms of larva. You definitely need to be at least 1 base up against a Terran opponent at all times. Nerchio, however, still looking very good. Looks like he's going to be throwing up that third hatchery. Once again, he's currently even in food with mouzMorroW. mouzMorroW currently at 108 food to the 107 food of Nerchio, and it looks like Nerchio actually going to be going for an immediate fourth. Good play, considering the fact that mouzMorroW is now taking a third base, and again, he's going to want to be one up on Nerchio at all, or Nerchio is going to be one up on mouzMorroW at all times. Nerchio actually managing to cancel that hatchery, but mouzMorroW denying that hatchery one more time there, being very, very annoying with this small group of Marines. There is going to be a big counterattack here from Nerchio as all these forces are now moving around to the third expansion. Will they be up? This is not going to be a planetary fortress. This is just an orbital command. He's going to need to cancel that and lift as soon as possible. There he goes. Didn't even have to cancel it. Managed to let it finish in time and did lift those forces. So looks like Nerchio is going to be denying any kind of mining going on at this third base for just a little while. In the meantime, a sensor tower has gone up for mouzMorroW again in a forward position. Again, absolutely love this. Playing to the fact that he knows Nerchio is going for this Roach Ling style that he went for in the previous game. Looks like he's going to be putting the sensor tower in places not where he's going to be looking for air counterattacks. If he was looking for air counterattacks, he could place one up in this upper position or even just down here to catch any trying to come for a sneak around. But we can see that he's putting it here where it's going to be able to see this attack path and this attack path down here. This means that he's going to have full ground control around his bases. Absolutely love that play from mouzMorroW. Now, from mouzMorroW, we are now seeing more factories that have come down, now producing a lot of siege tanks, going for a very, very similar style that he went for in Game 1. Looks like just now going to be throwing down an engineering bay as well as an armory, getting those upgrades up on this core group of units that he is now getting up. Siege tanks in position to defend. Ling's coming in, trying to deal some damage there, and actually a lot of SCVs actually going down to mouzMorrow's own siege tanks there, so not a bad little play there. A lot of mules and SCVs were left a little weak though. We do have an Overlord here in the back for Nerchio. Looks like that is going to be not quite picked off there by mouzMorroW. And looks like Nerchio taking down the destructible rocks to his natural expansion. A very, very smart play considering Zergs definitely rely on volume of units, especially when they're going for this style of play that Nerchio is going for, this Ling Roach style of play. He needs his units to be able to have a lot of space to expand and to get good surrounds on his opponent's units. So opening up space is definitely a key thing that you want to be doing in this match. Wouldn't be surprised to see him start to take down these destructible rocks in the middle, just because that'll open up one more counterattack path as well. Now Nerchio finally has gotten up his infestors, got a still big push of Lings and Roaches here, but mouzMorroW is looking like he wants to get aggressive right now. He is moving around. Will he be sieging up on this high ground? There is some forces here coming in. Nice fungal growth there by Nerchio, forcing this force to all siege up right now and force them to fight exactly where they are. The forces of Nerchio going down quite a bit to these siege tanks. However, a lot of the Marines were destroyed for mouzMorroW. Will he continue this push, or will he now just sit back and continue to macro up those Marines, because he's definitely going to need to get those Marines out there. Definitely going to need to separate them up a little bit. In the next push, if he wants to be able to deal with these infestors, needs to be sure that his Marines are nice and split so that Nerchio has to use more fungal growths to take out those Marines. And now we see that, what, did I see this correctly? Did I miss something? No, I did actually miss something, as we did have a drop go down in the main expansion. My apologies, you guys. Looks like during that attack, there was a drop in the main, and it looks like that drop is going to be continuing here. If we check out that workers killed count, we can see that mouzMorroW was able to snipe off a few drones. They're currently sitting at 13 drones killed, and it looks like he's going to be coming in now and focusing down that hatchery. Nerchio, of course, predicting that that was going to happen, already has thrown down another hatchery. Looks like he's going to be able to start continuing to produce those Zerglings very, very soon there. He is now on Hive Tech, just now finishing on that +2 Carapace. Looks like +1 melee attacks for Nerchio. We do have +2 Carapace now coming up, and it looks like Nerchio finally deciding he wants to get a little bit aggressive, moving across the map now. Has a couple of infestors down here at this lower position. Was he able? Am I missing all kinds of things, you guys? Is that what's going on here? I think this 19 workers killed might have come from a bit of a harassment here from Nerchio, and that's exactly what we're seeing here again. So I'm seeing everything just as it happens, a little bit late. There's stuff going on all over the map right now, ladies and gentlemen, as there's a big battle now going on in the middle of the map. Roach is now moving in. Looks like they are going to be able to clean up these siege tanks. In the meantime, some infested Terrans going down here in the back of mouzMorrow's base. Lots of SCVs being pulled here. Not the best reaction speed from mouzMorroW, and mouzMorroW with the GG. Unbelievable. If we check out that harvester count really quick, let's check it out. I'm not... Oh, man. I guess he just figured he was just so far behind in that food count, and Nerchio still had such a good-sized army. I can't say that Morrow was completely out of this game. I think he still had a good number of workers at his bases. He could have transferred some of these down here to this expansion, and I think he would have actually been in an okay position, but Morrow deciding that he wants to give up that game and just go directly into Game 3. That means that Nerchio's taken Game 2, and we're going to be going into Game 3 1-1, so we are going to see who is going to be able to take this best of 3, so don't go anywhere, you guys.